So Yellowstone has come to an end, and needless to say, there's a mixed bag of reaction to it. Um, I'm gonna share my thoughts right after this. So Yellowstone has come to an end. Taylor Sheridan's epic tale of ranching in Montana is now over, and I gotta say, the second part of season 5, in my opinion, did suffer without Kevin Costner around. I think Kevin Costner is the one person that brought some gravitas to the series. He's the one that grounded the series. I mean, the series did center around John Dutton and his family's Montana ranch. And without him, I think it lost a little bit. However, with the series finale being this past Sunday, except Paramount Network down in the lower right-hand corner of the screen had season finale. We all know it's a series finale, but I digress. The way it ended, I think is a perfect way to wrap it up and tie it all together. And the reason why I say that is, if you remember, at the end of 1883, when James Dutton purchased the land for the Yellowstone at $1.25 an acre, and he had a conversation with and he made a promise to sue Chief Spotted Eagle. And the promise was that in 7 generations, the Indians could have the land back. In fact, Chief Spotted Eagle said, but you know this, in 7 generations, my people will rise up and take it back from you. And James Dutton said, in 7 generations, you could have it. Well, we're 7 generations later, and guess what happened? To save the Yellowstone, to save the land, Casey sold the land back to Thomas Rainwater for the same $1.25 an acre that it was purchased for in 1883. So it came full circle. And by the way, it did set up a sequel, or not a sequel, but a spinoff for Rip and Beth, because Beth bought a new ranch with Rip running it. So we'll see. The rumors are that that's going to happen. So we'll see if that actually does happen. If it does happen, I'm going to watch. Now, the series finale and the last half of season 5 wasn't without its criticism. Let's see here. Let's go to Men's Journal. Ryan Britt. Yellowstone fans are roasting the series finale as the worst ever. The very end of Yellowstone finally came to pass. Even though the franchise will continue, the main series is very much over. But how did things wrap up? And more importantly, how do fans feel about it? TV series finales are notoriously hard to pull off. Even the most popular shows of all time genuinely having less than great final episodes. Well, Game of Thrones had a bad last season. Bad example. One fan said the finale's writing was lazy and cited the idea of Beth getting off scot-free while Jamie was turned into a scapegoat as unrealistic. Several viewers chimed in on this point, saying that Beth is a much more awful person than Jamie. I don't know about that. Perhaps the meanest insult hurled at Yellowstone finale was the idea that Kevin Costner's much derided Western epic Horizon was quick moving by comparison. Others felt that Taylor Sheridan's meta-fictional version of himself, Travis Wheatley, was part of what ruined this long drawn-out final season. This led many to call the Yellowstone finale the worst finale in TV history. Well, I had no problem with Taylor Sheridan's character, Travis Wheatley, being inserted in the penultimate episode because Travis was the one that was running the auction. Travis's character was what had appeared in multiple episodes in seasons prior. So I didn't have a problem with it. We could have had a Yellowstone finale. Instead, we got this. Again, people were not happy with Travis. Some people were not happy with let's see here. Let's look at this from Vulture. Naturally, most of the narrative momentum about the end of Yellowstone was going to revolve around the fate of the ranch, which has been the single biggest question of the entire series. How to maintain this unprofitable business, way of life, against the forward march of progress. How to negotiate the desires of Dutton family versus Broken Rock Reservation's traditional right to the land. You'd assume some dramatic tension would be almost unavoidable here, but no. Early in the episode, Casey and Beth announced that the Duttons will simply sell the ranch to the reservation at a much reduced and historically symbolic price, really low, allowing them to avoid paying inheritance tax somehow. Everyone is fine with this right away. No one has regrets, even though John Dutton made Beth promise never to sell it, and she was like, "Okay, Daddy." They're not happy about Rip digging the grave for John. Let's see here. Rip filling the grave, cook meat with Gator, ensure Beth carries out one final revenge plot, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, these guys at Vulture, at least this author of Vulture, wasn't happy with it. Now, Jack Posobiec, and I like Jack. I have followed Jack's stuff for a while. He had this to say. The series into Yellowstone went completely woke and had the Duttons return their land back to the Indians. Shout out to those of us who saw this coming. Yellowstone was always about pacing and leading conservative audiences to wokeness. Taylor Sheridan sold out. No, Jack, I disagree with you. Taylor Sheridan did not sell out. This was about the Dutton family and the Indian tribe coming together and protecting the land. And those of you, I'll say it again, those of you that don't remember, in 1883, James Dutton told the Sioux Indian chief at that time, when the Sioux chief said, 7 generations, we will take the land back, and James Dutton said, you can have it. There's nothing woke about that. And as other people have pointed out, this was anti-big government. This was anti-woke comments regarding tourists and Californians. This was about let's see here. It went back to them, but also had a lot of history. I have no problem with that. Also, Sheridan's show Landman. Okay, it goes into Landman a little bit. Basically, the narrative is protecting the land, where the Dutton family have protected that land. So now it's the Indians' turn to protect the land. See, those of you that haven't seen it, little spoiler alert, there's a scene toward the end where some of the children are kicking over headstones. Because remember, the Dutton family are buried on the land. And Mo, Thomas Rainwater's right-hand man, stops them from kicking over headstones and reprimands them for being disrespectful for the people who have protected that land for 7 generations. See, this was never about wokeness or anything political or overtly political in that nature. This was about the history of the Yellowstone, of the land in Montana, in my opinion. That's why they made the prequel, 1883. That's why they made the second prequel, 1923. Season 2 comes out in February. That's why you're going to get a spinoff with Rip and Beth. That's why there's been another prequel in the works. It's supposed to take place in the 1940s. It's to show the different generations that have been at and have run the Yellowstone. So, going woke? Nah, I don't think so. Look at some of Taylor Sheridan's other projects. You tell me going woke. I mean, Lioness, far from woke. Landman, far from woke. Mayor of Kingstown, far from woke. But I respect Jack for the fact that he had the guts to put his opinion out there. Just like I respect the fact that Men's Journal put this article out there. Just like I respect the fact that Vulture put this article out there. And again, did the last half of season 5 suffer without Kevin Costner? Absolutely. But I think they did a really good job of ending the series the way that they did by returning the Yellowstone back to the Indians, the Native Americans, and also at the same time setting up another spin-off series for Rip and Beth. Oh, and by the way, I was so happy that Jamie got his. I know in a couple of these articles, they're especially the one here in Vulture. Point number 7 here, ensure Beth carries out one final revenge plot that requires zero prep, plotting, interconflict, or narrative obstacles. I have no problem with, I knew Jamie was gonna get it one way or another. I'm just glad it was Beth that did it. I liked the touch where they took Jamie to the train station. So it was a nice little touch, in my opinion. So what'd you guys think? Comment down below. Love to hear what you guys have to say if you've seen the finale of Yellowstone. Did you think it went woke or not? Were you happy with the way it finished? I was happy with the way it finished. While you're at it, please take the time to smash that like button. Give me a thumbs up if you like the things that I'm covering. Subscribe to the channel. It's one way to support it. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Which, by the way, if you want to, you can become a member. I have memberships available now. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. And with that, share this video out there with your friends and family, and I will see you guys